Hi, I'm Dave.
And I'm Shali, and
this is GottaSing.com,
your online resource for a better voice.
Okay, we have Tia again today. Come on over, Tia. Okay.
And just have to see her sparkly. This is sparkly shirt day. Okay.
Okay. All right, great. So normally we ask you what you would like to change about your voice, but we noticed something when we were doing the last lesson, and we're just going to choose it today.
Okay.
You're only 17, you don't have a
fine.
choice. All right, good. So we're going to talk about posture with Tia. She turned to the side just a little bit. Now just stand like you were standing in the hall at school. Yeah, okay, I call this the I'm so depressed slouch. Okay, the high school's...
The teenage slouch.
The teenage slouch. Okay, so her shoulders are a little bit forward, the back is a little bit curved, and we have this going on. So let's talk about how we can fix this, especially for girls.
We did talk about this in the lesson with Mindy, not Mindy, with Kirsten. And I gave a little trick for finding a good posture. First of all, it's important that we have the ability for our body to act as a tube for the air to be fed through into the vocal cords. So just like a tube of toothpaste, which I talk about on the DVDs, if you roll up that tube of toothpaste, of course it's going to crimp, and then somebody comes along and wants to squeeze the toothpaste out the middle, what happens to that tube? It gets a crimp in it, and then it doesn't feed the toothpaste through very well. Same thing with our bodies. If you crimp or turn or stand kind of not straight and in alignment, you're actually not allowing for that air to come through the tube. And so when we get the teenage slouch or the I'm depressed slouch, unfortunately, it's kind of getting stopped at about the ribs. You can't get a good breath. I want you to stay this position and see if you can fill up the belly and the ribs really well. Okay, notice where it went.
Yeah.
It went right to her shoulders, which means she's getting a shallow breath. She's not getting something that's going to support a long vocal line or anything like that. So now, I want you to stand up just a little bit, just a little more. Now breathe in and see where it goes. See how it already filled up this portion? Now, trick to finding good posture so that those shoulders aren't slumped is I want you to turn towards the camera and go in a ballet arms. Tia loves dance.
Oh no.
Okay, arms, and then just bring them down with the palms up, palms up. Now just slightly rotate the wrists and allow them to come down from where they're at. That is a great posture. The sternum is still high, but it's not overextended like a soldier or something like that. It is very relaxed. You want to keep those shoulders there. Tail. A lot of us do the cheerleader or the gymnastics tail end where it's up and high. Not helpful. That's still making that tube go like this. We want it to be nice and straight. And so you just slightly tuck under the tail, just barely, as well as the nice shoulder and sternum. So now take a breath there. And it's amazing. She doesn't have to raise her shoulders at all, and yet she's able to fill up the entire abdomen. And so that's going to help her have more breath control, and she has to manage it according to what she needs for that vocal line. So some lines aren't going to need as much air as others.
Yeah, we need to get a boy in here also and deal with this for boys too.
A little different.
Yeah, it is a little bit different. If you look on DVD 1, there's a whole section where we have you lie down, and then you gradually come up into different positions. So you learn how this standing position should feel and feel natural. You don't want to make it too unnatural. And if you're ever on stage, you don't always stand like this. If you're doing a national anthem or something, you're going to be rocking out, okay? So the way you do it. Or if you're on stage doing a show or, anything.
You could be laying down singing an aria, in classical and in Broadway, etc. And so you have to learn how to still maintain a nice straight tube somehow in every position that you're going to be in on stage. And so you learn how to negotiate that. One thing I wanted to say, as far as breathing, a lot of times we forget that we've got a whole backside, that we have to actually breathe into the back. Something I just heard the other day in my yoga class was we were doing some deep breathing, and we actually had to lay on our stomachs with our arms out, and we had to feel the breath go into the back. It's a great way to identify and to isolate the back, to feel how much our backs are used in the breathing process. Sometimes we think of ourselves as myself is just here forward. Instead, we've got a whole backside that needs to be utilized, especially in the breath, because the rib cage doesn't just open forward, it actually opens all the way around. So what I want you to do now is really feel that back. So turn around this way and take a deep breath in, and I want you to really just tell me how it feels when you breathe. Notice how I felt expansion. I'm going to show you. Do that one more time. Breathe in, and it actually expands. And this shirt's perfect for it because you can see the circle
So everyone
expand.
wears shirts like this.
But it's important to realize that when you're breathing, you also are opening up the back, and so it's not just our front side. Therefore, it is important that our alignment is good and that we don't have overarched or undertucked too far under, etc. So take one more breath. I want you to start from the beginning. Do the ballet arms, bring them down, rotate the wrists, and keep them right there, making sure the tail is tucked under just slightly. Knees are supple, meaning they're slightly bent, not locked. Now take a nice deep breath in. Make sure you're feeling into that back, and then blow it out. Now this time I want you to do it, but keeping the ribs expanded. Okay, breathe in. And keep those ribs open. Blow it out until they absolutely can't stay open anymore. There you go.
And another thing you can do, I always say, you are a singer 24 hours a day. If you want to be a professional singer, you need to be a singer 24 hours a day. That means you take care of your voice, you sleep, you drink a lot of water, all that stuff. But posture and breath should just become a natural thing. You just stand in your good posture all the time, no matter where you are, unless you are. Yeah, no, but use this and then your ribs will start to stay up, and then when you go to sing, you're already there. It's already your natural stance. That's how I try to sing.
I've actually expanded my rib size, and so they're a little bit bigger just because those intercostal muscles, which are in between your ribs that allow the expansion and to actually close the ribs, they have grown.
Yeah.
And so it's easier for me to maintain that openness, but it also has expanded a little bit of the size here.
Yeah, watch the medical animation on DVD too. It really shows you exactly how that whole mechanism works. It's great. It shows you the diaphragm, where it is, and all that stuff. Because people always say sing from your diaphragm, but do you really know what it is and what you're doing? So
involuntary muscle. It just happens because of the way the ribs, or because of positive and negative air pressure with the lungs.
Yes.
So it's really not something that's voluntary.
Okay, great. So think about this posture all the time. Remember, technique is everything. You've got to have good technique.
So if you have a question about your voice or you want to change something about your voice, let us know.
Thanks. See ya.